Savers, welcome to Virtual d.lab. Today we will be building a dot cam stand, and then I'll show you how to make a stop motion animation video. So for this project, part one, which is building the dot cam stand, you're gonna need some supplies. You're going to need safety gloves, and you're going to need a ruler, something to mark your measurements. I'm gonna use a marker so that you can see on camera better than with a pencil. If you don't have a ruler, you can use a tape measure. You're gonna need some tape, and then you're going to need something to cut the cardboard with. So maybe some scissors or a canary cutter if you have that, X-Acto knife, or a zip snip. So to do that, we have some table legs we need to build, and I'm gonna start with an Amazon box. This one held some dog food for my dogs, Milo and Ripley. So we want to cut the box down to about 18 inches long and 11 inches high. So we're gonna build the tabletop, and then we're gonna build the legs, and the legs can be created out of cardboard, which I can use the other half of this box, or I can use some materials from around the house like paper towel rolls, or if you have PVC pipe, you can cut it down to 18 inches. So I'm gonna cut this box down, and then we'll go from there. So I've cut this piece of cardboard into an 18-inch long piece, and now I'm going to teach you a cardboard construction technique called a halfway cut through. So I'm going to be putting my safety gloves on, and what I'm going to do is get a glove that matches my left hand. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure 2 inches across, and I'm gonna build a table leg out of cardboard. And what we're gonna do is we are going to use a ruler and an X-Acto knife to do the halfway cut through. So make sure you're wearing your safety gloves. We're gonna use the ruler as a guide. And essentially what we're doing is we are cutting halfway through the cardboard so that we can create a crease. And we are using this triangle shape so that we can have a strong support. So when you make a halfway cut through, you can crease it there, and we'll make a triangle there. So I've got one more to cut, and for this third line, I'm gonna cut all the way through. So I'm gonna flip it over, line it up on the crease, okay. So now I've got my cardboard, and I've got 2 creases, and I'm gonna fold it all the way so that it makes this triangle shape. And I'm gonna tape it, and I can take my gloves off for that. And then here's the top. So I'll be taping it to the inside like so. So I'm gonna flip it over and put some tape in here to hold it down. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the other 3 legs. Okay, so here's what it looks like with the other 3 legs. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a hole 3 inches down and 3 inches long and 2 inches wide. And I can make sure that it fits my iPad by laying my iPad on top and making sure that the camera fits through here. So let's see how far over I went for my iPad. About 7.5 inches. Then I made a cut 3 inches down and 2 inches across. I wore gloves and I used my X-Acto knife to make that cut. Another option is to put the legs on, the paper towel roll legs on, like so, with tape. Let's see if it stands. Haha! Okay, so now we go 7.5 inches over. Keep cutting 3 inches down. Two inches across. All right, so now we're on to part 2 of this project. And so what you're going to need to do is download the stop motion app for your iPad or whatever device you're using, and it's free. And then you can start planning out your set and your characters for your stop motion animation video. So what I'm gonna use is some scrap fabric, and I made this little crab guy, and I have a little cupcake, and I even made a little mouth so he can be happy or sad. All right, so now let's move over to our homemade dot cam table. So here I am at my dot cam stand, and what I'm gonna do is line up my iPad camera with this hole right here. My app is open to the stop motion animation app, and I'm gonna set up the scene on the floor underneath. So I'm gonna lay my fabric. Ooh, the texture is showing up really nicely in there. And I'm doing an underwater scene of a crab. Okay, so I'm gonna put my crab underneath, and you wanna take about 7 photos equals 1 second of your stop motion animation movie. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my crab on the edge of the screen, and I'm going to take a photo in my app. Then I'm gonna move them about an inch, maybe half an inch. And I have to make sure that my hand is out of the way before I move him. And one of the great things about this .cam stand is that the background won't move unless you want it to, but you can move your characters. And so whoever's watching your video won't get too dizzy once it's complete. So my crowd is in the center of the scene, and now I'm going to lay my cupcake down on the edge. I'm gonna have it drop down. And I've taken about 7 photos now. So at this point, I have about 1 second of footage for my video. All right, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have fun. Bye.